Hello, drama lovers. Welcome back to Taehyung News Channel. Some stories don't begin with explosions. They don't start with bright lights or thunderous applause. Some stories begin in silence, in stillness, in an empty gaze and a smile that no longer shines. And today's story is one of them. We've always known Taehyung of BTS as a charming figure, magnetic, graceful, and somehow always appearing to be fine. The cameras catch him smiling, standing tall on stage, warmly hugging his members. But lately, if you look a little closer, something feels missing. There's something behind his eyes, as if they are trying to say something but can't. A quiet sadness that's been slowly building. And for the longest time, no one really knew what was happening. Until now, everything changed. It was a quiet day, just like any other. No big announcement. No comeback teaser. Just one sentence. A short message posted by Taehyung on his personal account, unfiltered, without explanation. Just a single sentence. I've stayed silent long enough. I just want to be myself, without being afraid. No hashtags. No further clarification. But the world suddenly froze. That sentence spread like wildfire. Armies around the world stopped. Just for a moment. But that moment was enough to change everything. What did he mean by silent long enough? What had he been holding back? And why choose now to say it? Not long after, a leaked audio recording from an unreleased interview surfaced. Taehyung's voice sounded flat. Not because he didn't care, but because he was tired. Deeply tired. In the recording, he said, "I don't know who I am anymore. Sometimes I feel like just a shadow. I used to have dreams. Now, it just feels like I'm following orders." His words were quiet. But perhaps that's why every syllable hit even harder. It doesn't take an explosion to destroy a world. Sometimes, all it takes is one honest whisper from someone who's been silent too long. For years, fans had sensed something was off. Taehyung was often absent from certain promotions. His social media posts grew more cryptic. Some days he would be active and open, and then disappear for weeks without explanation. Fans tried to stay optimistic. But now, with this revelation, everything started to make sense. They began to piece together what they had missed. One example stood out. When BTS members' solo schedules were announced one by one, Taehyung's release was repeatedly delayed without clear reasons. And even when his solo finally dropped, the promotions felt painfully minimal. No major TV appearances. No variety show features. No grand showcase. It was quiet, as if orchestrated that way. Other strange things became clearer in hindsight. During recent concerts before their military hiatus, Taehyung was often positioned at the sides of the stage rather than the center, unlike before. His interactions with members seemed sparse. His gaze seemed heavy with things left unsaid. And now, after Taehyung himself voiced his exhaustion, many of these moments felt like undeniable truths. A former HYBE staff member, speaking anonymously, revealed that Taehyung was the member who contributed the most creative ideas, but that made him problematic in the agency's eyes. He was too idealistic, too honest, too unwilling to conform. And in a system like this, that's not something they appreciate. More truths began to surface. A producer who once worked with Taehyung said they had planned a special project, a collaboration with a traditional Korean musician, something deeply meaningful and soulful. But it was shut down by the label. The reason? Not marketable enough. When this story spread, the public began to ask, has Taehyung been forced to follow a path he didn't choose? Has HYBE been stifling his creativity simply because it didn't fit the mainstream? Amidst all this chaos, HYBE stayed silent. No statements. No clarifications. Not even an attempt to ease the fans' worries. And that silence wasn't calm. It was the loudest noise in this situation. Because when someone refuses to answer, they leave the world to draw its own conclusions. What made it worse was the silence from the other BTS members. No direct statements. No public support. Just quiet. But fans noticed subtle signs. Jungkook uploaded an old photo of him and Taehyung during their trainee days. RM shared a song about burdens you can't see. Jimin posted a story that simply said, "I hope you can breathe easier now." They didn't say much, but somehow, it spoke volumes. Across Twitter, Instagram, and online forums, hashtags of support poured in. #We hear you Taehyung, #protect Taehyung, #HYBE's we use trended in over 40 countries. Fans weren't just sad, they were furious. But underneath that anger was a collective guilt that maybe they had noticed too late. That maybe they were too busy enjoying the music to see the pain behind it. Some critics tried to downplay everything, accusing Taehyung of playing victim, claiming this was all staged for attention. But those who followed BTS from the beginning know Taehyung isn't the type to speak just to be seen. In fact, he's always been the one who holds everything in. This story raises a bigger question. Has the same system that built BTS also become the very force that's quietly breaking them? Does an artist truly have space to breathe in this industry, or are they merely parts in a machine that never stops moving? Veteran artists stepped forward in support. Some called Taehyung's courage a spark for change. Others warned that the K-pop industry has long worshipped structure while forgetting that its stars are human, not machines. Now, all eyes are on Taehyung. Will he choose to break away? Will he stay and try to survive within the system? Or is this just the beginning of something even deeper, even more painful, and even more revealing? One thing is certain, nothing will ever be the same after this. Because once silence is broken by truth, it can't be silenced again. And we, as lovers of drama, can only hope that whatever path he chooses next, it's one that lets him live fully. Not as a manufactured idol, but as Kim Taehyung, the artist, the human being. What do you think? Is this a sign that the K-entertainment system needs to change? Or is this just another tragic story that will soon be forgotten? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be closely following the next chapter in this story, because what happened today isn't just about one man. It's about everyone who's ever felt voiceless in the noise. See you in the next story. And as always, thank you for listening, with your heart.